Bottom of the Class by Enid Blyton. Somebody always has to be at the bottom of every class. But, said Miss Brown, it needn't always be the same person, Bobby. You see, Bobby was always at the bottom. He was very sorry about it, but he couldn't help it. He had been ill for 2 years of his school life, and that meant that he was far behind everyone else. He wasn't very good at craft work either, because he was left handed, and that seemed to make him awkward with the tools that the class used to make things. He was bad at games because he wasn't strong and couldn't run fast. His mother was often very sorry for the little boy because he never once grumbled or complained, and yet she knew he must be unhappy about it. But there was one thing that Bobby was very, very fond of, and that was gardening. He might not be able to run fast, but you should see him weeding. And the flowers didn't mind whether he was left handed or right handed, because he always knew when to water them, when to weed, and when to tie them up so that the wind couldn't blow them down. You know, Paul, his mother said to his father, Bobby isn't much good at anything except gardening, so we must help him all we can with that. When people aren't much good at anything and can't help it, it's very important to find something they like and can do very well. And gardening is what Bobby likes best of all. So his parents gave Bobby a very big piece of the garden. They bought him a spade and fork, a watering can, trowels, dibbers, twine for tying, and a fine wheelbarrow. He was delighted. Oh, thank you, he said. Now I'll really be able to grow marvelous flowers. And Mummy, do you know what I shall do? I shall grow enough flowers for you to have them all over the house, and enough to take to Miss Brown twice a week to keep our classroom beautiful. Then she'll know that even if I am at the bottom of the class and stay there, I can at least do something. He kept his word. He worked hard in his garden each day. He dug, he weeded, he sowed, he watered. He thinned out his seedlings. He hunted for slugs. He tied up his tall plants so that the wind should not break them. And all the term his mother had her house full of flowers from Bobby's garden, and really you should have seen Bobby's classroom. There were roses on Miss Brown's desk, lupins on the windowsill, pinks on the bookcase smelling as sweet as sugar. Miss Brown said they never had so many lovely flowers, and all the children were grateful to Bobby and his gardening. The summer term went on. There was to be a concert and a craftwork show at the end. Bobby wasn't in anything at the concert except in the opening song because he simply couldn't remember the words in any play or recitation for more than a day. He couldn't even sing in time, so Miss Brown told him not to sing too loudly in the opening song in case he put the others off. Bobby was the only child who had nothing on show in the craftwork display. He had been trying to make something like the others, but his work was so bad that Miss Brown said she was sorry, but she couldn't possibly show it. The lady at the big house was to come to hear the concert and open the show, but on the day before the concert, she fell ill and couldn't come. The children were sorry because they liked her, but she sent rather an exciting message. I have asked a friend of mine to come instead, she said. She's a duchess, so I hope you will welcome her nicely and thank her properly for coming. A duchess, said the children. Goodness, Miss Brown, we'll all have to be extra smart, and won't we have to present her with a bouquet, a really beautiful bunch of flowers? Yes, we shall, said Miss Brown. I must order some at once. Now, who shall give the flowers to her? The top girl of the class felt certain she would be chosen. The boy who happened to be games captain just then hoped he would be. Suzette, the smartest girl in the class, remembered her beautiful new dress and thought she ought to be the one to curtsy and present the flowers. But suddenly, little Mary spoke up. Miss Brown, I think Bobby ought to present the bouquet. Look at all the lovely flowers he's grown for us this term. He ought to have some reward, and he's not doing anything special in the concert. And he's got nothing in the craftwork show. I do think he ought to present the flowers. There was a moment's silence, and then all the children, yes, even the top girl, the games captain, and Suzette, shouted out loudly, Yes, yes, that's fair. Let Bobby do it. Let Bobby give the flowers. What an honor for Bobby. He sat blushing in his seat. his eyes shining. What would his mother say when she saw him going up to the Duchess and bowing and presenting the bouquet? Bobby was as glad for his mother as he was for himself. It was all settled, except that Bobby insisted that he should bring the bouquet from his own garden. This week I have got the loveliest carnations and roses you ever saw, he said, better than in any of the shops. Real beauties, and I'd love to give them to the Duchess. So Bobby picked his carnations and roses, made them into a magnificent bouquet, and took them to school the next afternoon. All the mothers were there, and some of the fathers. It was a great day for the school and the parents. The pretty Duchess drove up in a car. The children cheered. She smiled and went up to the little platform to speak to the children. And then, very proudly, Bobby went up onto the platform too, carrying the flowers he had grown himself. He looked neat and tidy. His hair was well brushed. His shoes shone, and his nails were clean. Miss Brown was proud of him. Bobby bowed and presented the bouquet to the Duchess. His mother almost cried for joy. The Duchess took the flowers and exclaimed over them, "How beautiful! I have never had such a wonderful bouquet before. Oh, thank you! What glorious roses and carnations!" Little Mary couldn't stop herself from calling out, "Bobby grew them himself. He picked them out of his own garden for you." "Good gracious, what a clever boy you must be," said the Duchess. "How proud your school must be of you." Bobby was as red as beetroot. He almost burst for joy. He was at the bottom of the form and always had been. And here he was being told he was clever by the Duchess herself, and he knew the school was proud of him. So they were. They were proud of him and they liked him. As for his mother, how she beamed when all the other mothers crowded round her afterwards and praised her Bobby. Bobby is grown up now. He is the head of a very fine flower growing firm and he takes all the prizes there are. It's surprising what you can do even if you are at the bottom of the class.